Hashtag Black Drag Magic is a collaboration between myself and drag artist and activist Belinda Kakamba Kafasi. The project tells the stories of black, queer, gender non-conforming and transgender people who grew up in the townships of Cape Town. Discrimination forms part of everyday life in townships such as Khayelitsha, especially in public spaces. As a photographer, it was important for me to collaboratively use this project as a radical and progressive act of activism and to stand up against the violence and discrimination members of the LGBTQI+ community face in the township. I love everything about this image of Belinda. I love how strong and confident they look in this photograph. And I think it's an especially powerful image because the very act of creating this photograph in a public space in Khayelitsha became a radical and progressive act of activism to stand up against the overwhelming climate of discrimination members of the LGBTQI+ community face in the township. One of the initial things that came up in our first meeting was that I was very concerned for the safety of everyone involved in the project. And Belinda said something that really made me think about whether we should do this or not, and it was that if we don't go to these spaces and we don't reclaim them, it's just like we don't exist. And that sat with me for quite a while, and it was a very difficult thing to accept. And so I decided that it would be the right thing to go as a group, and despite the risk that it would be an important part of the activism that we were hoping to create with this project. It was very interesting to see how people in the township responded to us being there and the opportunity that it created to not only talk about the work and what we were doing, but also how the subjects saw themselves and how they wished to exist in this specific community.